Thinking about buying a franchise? Don't go it alone. Just like a buyer's agent in real estate, you deserve someone who's on your side every step of the way. That's where Todd Abraham, the franchise guy, comes in. Todd's consulting services are completely free to anyone looking to buy a franchise. He'll represent your interest, make sure all your questions are answered, and walk you through the entire buying process. With Todd in your corner, you'll have the best chance for success from your first call to the day you hold the keys to your new business. So before you buy a franchise, talk to someone who knows the industry inside and out and works for you. Call Todd Abraham, the franchise guy, today at 423-381-0925 for a free, no-pressure consultation. That's 423-381-0925. Your future in franchising starts here. Good Thursday afternoon. This is Todd Abraham on franchiseradio.net. We are coming to you live Thursday, October the 24th, almost November, hard to believe. And today we've got a really cool concept, something that's been around since the beginning of time, water. And it's a company, we're talking to Robert Griffin today. Rob Griffin, he is the owner, CEO of Joe Water, and it's a really cool name. I thought, wow, that's very simple but very marketable. And Robert had bought this business. We were talking right before we started recording, and he made quite a change from the business consulting type work to water. So water. Rob, welcome to the show.
Yeah, thank you. Pleasure to be here.
Yeah, very cool. So you can't see Robert, but I can. But it almost looks like if you threw a three-piece suit on him, this guy could easily be like a government hitman, like an agent,
That's right.
So, Rob, tell us a little bit about yourself, and like we had mentioned just now, what got you into the water business?
Sure, yeah. So I spent about 15 years in the business world doing business consulting and software as a service, and started a company there that we ran for about 15 years with a partner of mine, and we ended up selling that to private equity. I joined the private equity company for a couple of years, as kind of usual, did my earnout stint with them, and then kind of became free and started looking for something new and interesting to occupy myself with. And I wanted to kind of shift gears from the online world into like the kind of real world, the physical world. And I thought that water treatment is a really cool opportunity and area. It's an area that's not going to be outsourced very easily. It's an area that's not going to be displaced by artificial intelligence. Like, it's something that people are going to need for a long time. And it's an increasingly it's something that people have increasingly become aware of, the quality of their water as they become more health conscious. So that's kind of what attracted to me originally. And,
so you found the business for sale on, where was it you said?
I found the business on BizBuySell, on the
right.
BizBuySell website. Yeah.
And so there was probably a lot of other businesses that you had looked at. What appealed to you the most about this one?
This business had really high customer satisfaction ratings. It had strong cash flow and good profit margins, and it had a unique product that I hadn't been familiar with until I started looking at the company, and that's called a whole house reverse osmosis system. And so that kind of combination of unique things made me think like, wow, that's really interesting. And these whole house RO systems have really taken off in Southwest Florida. I feel like there's a great opportunity for them to become more popular and to be better marketed throughout the rest of the country. And so that's what led me to kind of pursue the initial opportunity in Southwest Florida, but then also kind of have an eye towards how do we expand this and replicate the concept in many other geographies.
Right. Yeah. And true. I was reading on the website, and you're right. The reviews are very, very good. And I mean, like I said, the name is so simple, but man, I love it. I mean, because to me, it's very marketable. And water is something that everybody drinks and uses in their everyday life. And you're right. I mean, there is a health movement going on in the U.S. And plus, I mean, with all the bacteria and everything that's seems like there's more now than when I was younger. It's important, to have clean water. And of all the podcast interviews that I've done with franchisors and all the research that I've done, the franchise shows I've been to, I don't know that I've seen one quite like yours. So that's a great thing that you have a unique and very common product offering. Lots of homeowners out there too. So are you legally a franchise now? Are you almost there, or where are we at there?
Yeah, so we're in the process of filing our first franchise agreements with Florida. That's where we'll start is focusing on Florida as well as Georgia and kind of the Southeast. And so over the next month or two, I think we'll have those kind of finalized and be officially a franchise.
Cool. And so one of the neat things about, franchising is definitely, in my humble opinion, in my business experience, the best way to grow your business model, especially with the difficulty in finding quality help these days in the employment side of things. But, the other thing is that, and for those of you listening, if you're considering, creating a franchise out of your business, once you get your franchise disclosure document done, there's about 27 states where there's no additional fees or filing requirements. And the Southeast, pretty much all the states are like that. So that is one very awesome thing. So now tell us about the different types of products that you offer and what kind of a price point are you looking at there?
Sure. Yeah. So there's kind of two sides to our product portfolio. We have a set of products for people that are on city water and a set of products for people that are on well water. And so for the city water side, which is obviously a strong majority of customers, we have you typically either go to a softener and sometimes a chloramine filter that goes along with that. So that's kind of like the base product, and then the step up or the premium offering in that space would be a whole house reverse osmosis, and that would typically be applied for like more luxury homes. And the price points for those are typically softener and chloramine filter is about $4,000, and whole house reverse osmosis is about $7,000 or $8,000. Just like the rough ballpark there.
Right, and then what is the typical, so once you install the system and that first initial service is paid for annually, what is the typical maintenance cost for those types of systems?
So for both of those systems, we offer a monthly service maintenance package. So for a softener, that would be to come and deliver salt and fill up the salt bin and check the system out. And for the whole house reverse osmosis, there's a filter that needs changed. And so we change the filter once a month and test the system. And we also offer a premium version of that package that extends the warranty kind of indefinitely. So for every one of the customers that we do a large install for, which provides, good kind of upfront revenue, we are, about 40 or 50% of them end up as a monthly service customer. And the revenue there is anywhere from $50 to $125 a month of recurring revenue. And so over time, that builds up. We have close to 400 recurring revenue customers in our flagship location. And so we have a pretty significant base monthly income that just comes from that recurring service work.
Very cool. Now, so tell me again how long you've owned the business for, and then what kind of improvements did you make to the company once you bought it?
Sure, yeah. So I've owned it for 2 years, and the main improvement that I undertook was at the time they were running about 4 or 5 technicians, and everything was paper-based, so paper work orders and things like that. And so we, within a couple of months, implemented Service Titan as our dispatching system and our call tracking system and all those types of things. And that obviously was a significant effort, but had huge payoffs. Like now we have pictures of every job. We have a record of every phone call, organized by customer. And so when you have 400 monthly customers and another couple of hundred a month, customers that are, just coming in and doing calls and service calls and installs and things. It makes it 1,000 times more easy to keep track and see what's going on. So that was the big technological shift. We added some additional marketing. We implemented a dedicated salesperson. Previously, the owner was doing most of the selling. And I think those are kind of the main things. And then obviously we invested a lot in technician training and quality, checking and things like that.
That's very good. So overall, the Joe Water has been around for how many years, you said?
A total of 8, and I've owned it for 2.
Right. Very cool. What's the franchise fee? What is the overall investment for someone to get started? And then what is the monthly royalty?
Sure. So the initial franchise fee is $30,000. The overall investment is a range anywhere from $90,000 to $120,000, which mostly depends on how much initial stock that you purchase and allocate for working capital and things like that. And the monthly royalty is 6% of gross sales, obviously. And
you guys are doing the 1% marketing fund like most of the franchises do.
Yep.
That's a really good all-in cost range because, like I said, I've done 21 of these franchise marketing systems client spotlight interviews, and anything to me that comes in with an investment startup that's under $150,000, including the franchise fee, I think it's a really good opportunity. What kind of experience? Who's your ideal candidate to buy a franchise? Do they need? What kind of experience do they need? What sort of thing in that range?
Well, I think that there are 2 kind of prototype franchisor candidates. First of all, there is a huge, and this kind of goes to the question that we wrestled with a lot is like, how do we decide to franchise versus kind of expand organically or have company-owned stores? And the reason that we decided to do that is because I really believe that there's a market, there's a pool, an untapped pool of mostly plumbers, but also people that are in the water treatment space or in like the like home improvement space that want to have more freedom. And let's take plumbers as an example. There's a whole sea of trained plumbers that work at some of these big plumbing shops where their whole life is they are commission-based plumbers,
right?
Which means they only make whatever they can sell. So they have selling skills and they have plumbing skills, and they're increasingly kind of being stuck with these large private equity-based plumbing businesses that are, applying all their like structure and rules and everything. And so I think there's a sea of these people out here that have the skills to be able to do this essentially on their own. And if they were to enter into our franchise system, would make a lot more money for one, and over time be able to really control their involvement. Some of them love to sell. Some of them love to do. Some of them would love to sit back poolside and like hire people out and be out of it entirely. But
by the water, incidentally.
Right, yeah, sit by the water. So I think there's a big pool of those people, and so that's my prototype, kind of the core of my prototype is like, okay, you've got some experience with plumbing and gluing pipes, and you've got some experience with selling, and you want to take the next step in your career. We can give the structure, we can give the product, we can give the training, we can show you how to run a business. Now it's not that intimidating. Like some of these people don't want to like deal with all the headaches of running a business. Well, we can help with all those types of things and give you a lot of the financial freedom. And so to me, that is like the ideal candidate for starting a franchise. And they're the people that are much harder for us to attract. Like if we were to grow it organically, to put together a package that would really compel one of those people and also have them like live it. When you own a company, you're thinking about it every day, right? On weekends. When you're the manager of the location, of the expansion location, it's like, okay, yeah, but maybe I try it for 6 months and maybe I try something else, so we want that kind of commitment.
That's I just thought of a great marketing slogan. So we could say, buy a franchise with Joe Water so you can spend more time by the water.
That's right. Exactly.
Now, will they need like an official office? Is it something they can start from home and expand until they have the money to get an office? How does that work?
Yeah, it's something that they can start from home and expand. If they start from home, they'll need at least a storage unit to be able to store product.
Sure.
But the kind of minimum requirements is a storage unit, a home office, and a van. And we've got specs for the service van and things like that. And you can start that small and then scale up. And we've kind of built the marketing plan and package in such a way so that it is pretty scalable. You can kind of drive that. So over time, you kind of build up momentum in a particular area with people knowing your name and seeing the van around, and that tends to build on itself.
Yeah, and too, when you get to like a certain level, like where your flagship location is, it's almost to the point where, yes, you should go get an office. Why? Because you've got the funds to easily cover that space, and now you've got that extra marketing exposure there, with all the branding and the signage and everything. So, really neat concept. So when somebody, oh, by the way, I always mention this. The website, if I get my mouse going here, is Joe Water FL, for short for Florida, joewaterfl.com. And you can go there and check out everything that they have to offer. It's a really nice website. You'll almost feel like you're swimming in the water when you're, perusing the website. But but you will also get a feel for like Rob was saying, the level of customer service satisfaction, because they've got a very good section there with all the different reviews. So once somebody decides to buy a franchise with you, what is the typical conversion time from the time that they start the process and then they're able to start to generate some income?
Yeah, so typically around 60 days is what I would expect. Like I said, there's not a significant amount of build out that's needed. It's a relatively low impact business from that perspective, but there is some training that needs done. And so, we'll work with you to get that training in place and be able to get leads coming in and get the product launched as quickly as possible. We have, some online training that's available as well as in-person training in our Naples corporate location.
Now, here's a side note question, but did you guys get affected by either one of the hurricanes here?
Yeah, so more the second one with man, I can't even keep track of them anymore. It's,
Milton.
Milton, yeah. Luckily, it kind of tracked north of where most of our customers are, but we do service all the way up kind of through Northport, which is just south of Sarasota. So we did have some customers affected by that. And some customers down in Naples where you just, Naples with both hurricanes, had a couple of feet of water in the downtown area.
Yes.
So they're kind of getting, unfortunately, used to that.
Yeah,
somebody
was telling me that a lot of these homes, like the water damage didn't really get them too bad. What got them was they had their Teslas plugged up in their garage, and the water came in there and shouldered them out and burnt the house down. So
yeah.
Governor DeSantis was telling everybody before Milton hit, he's like, hey, get those Teslas out of the state, because I mean, how sad would that be, if your home is reinforced to withstand the wind and the water, and then you forgot to, move your Tesla, caught your house on fire. It's sad, but it's just something you don't think about,
Yep.
Yeah.
It's a whole new problem.
So what sort of a territory does a franchisee get, and are you open to somebody owning like a multi-unit owner?
Yeah, for sure. So the initial territories will be relatively large, population centers and their outlying areas. We didn't talk about too much, but the well water business for us is even more significant than the city water,
Right.
just because there's almost always a need for some kind of water treatment on well water. And so depending, each market will be a little bit different, but we want to make sure that we've got that well water area well covered maybe even more so than like a large city. So when you look at a place like the east coast of Florida, pretty much Miami all the way through West Palm Beach, it's actually kind of the more remote western sides of that area than, downtown Miami. We can put softeners and things in downtown Miami quite a bit, but the well water people out on the perimeter are, in many cases more often the customer. So for each geography, we'll look at that and assign a territory to make sure we're maximizing our opportunities there.
Yeah, my mom lives at Lake Oconee, which is about an hour and a half southeast of Atlanta, and that's a Georgia Power owned lake. It was man-made, and it's very clean, very beautiful. Lots of expensive homes there, but something like this would do very well, because those are the kind of people that don't mind spending the money to have these kind of water treatment systems put into their home. And like we said, I mean, it only makes it healthier living for them. So that's an awesome thing. It sounds like a really good offering, Rob. So again, we're talking with Rob Griffin here. He is the owner, CEO of Joe Water, a company that's been in business for 8 years in Southwest Florida, and will legally become a franchise here in about a month. And today is October the 24th. But that doesn't mean that you can't go ahead and start the process of getting in touch with Rob and becoming it's almost like a letter of intent, when you go to maybe buy a house or something, to say that, hey, I really love this idea and I'd like to, be on board when you guys, are completely, fully franchised so that we can start immediately. Again, the website is Joe Water Florida, or FL, short for Florida.com. And then they don't have the franchise information page completely done yet, but we can get you the information that you need. The FDD, the franchise disclosure document, whatever you need to do a full investigation for yourself. But really exciting concept. The franchise fees only $30,000. That's right, $30,000. The monthly royalty 6%. And as he was saying, you can work from home. All you simply need is a storage unit. Would one of those big rent-to-own storage buildings that many people are getting, like I've got, would that work enough for storage?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, like even a 10 by 20, 10 by 30 space is like really all you need. It's plenty.
Yeah, because those are awesome because, most people buy the best have good credit, but the fact that you can rent those buildings, they'll bring them out, set them up for you. And they're really nice. The one I've got is really nice. But, so yeah. All right. So that's all you need. You don't have to have an office, per se to start out with. Work from home. And then the training that Rob just mentioned is both in person and online. And, I could think of, like you were talking about, some targeted marketing campaigns specifically to plumbers would be a really good start, because if I'm a plumber, even if I have my own business, I could see transitioning into this a lot more cleaner. I'm not under the house digging a ditch for a pipe. And then, you're cutting out on all those emergency calls as plumbers get, hey, that we just got a freeze and I need you to come over here and lay under my house in the sub-zero temperatures and fix this, frozen pipe or whatever. But I could definitely see a lot of advantages there. So what is your vision, Rob, for where would you like to see the company in, say, 5 years from now? How many units would you like to see sold?
Yeah, so and you raise a great point for the plumbers. There's a great benefit to not having to deal with sewers. We deal with the clean side, not the
septic tanks. Yeah.
But yeah, in terms of vision, our goal is sustainable, steady growth. We want to make sure that we're really investing as we start these first couple of franchisees and are making sure that they're as successful as possible. But over the 5 to 8 year time frame, our goal is to get to between 30 and 50 total franchisees, and we'll assess as we go beyond the southeast, where that makes sense to pursue. There's a lot of opportunities in Texas. There's a lot of opportunities in the Midwest as well, and so. Yeah, that's our goal, to be able to kind of continue to scale it up and particularly focus on this whole house reverse osmosis. It's really unique water for people that haven't experienced it because most people know what hard water feels like because most people have hard water. And they know what soft water feels like because it's kind of like that slippery type of
Yeah.
feeling.
Yeah.
What's cool about whole house reverse osmosis is it's neither hard nor soft. It's just totally neutral. So it's not slippery like soft water, but it has zero hardness. And so it's just like the most neutral, pleasant thing you can imagine. And so our customers, that's why we have such great reviews, is our customers, once they experience it, they're like, oh, this is amazing. I would never want
Yeah. Where
to
were
have
you 20
anything
years
else.
ago, pal?
Right. Yeah, exactly. So.
So what about the sulfur water? You know, a lot of times you go to these coastal places, you know, and you can smell the sulfur in the water. You've got systems that take that out.
Yeah, the whole house reverse osmosis does a great job with it, and then we also have kind of separate filters. You typically see either sulfur or iron or salt intrusion. You get like brackish water into your well, and so yeah, we have systems that cover all those things.
Right. Very cool. Well, so great opportunity here for anybody looking for a franchise that deals with something that everybody uses, water. Every homeowner is going to have, I mean, that's a very simple question. Nobody can say no to is, well, do you have water at your house? And, of course, I would get some guy that said, well, yeah, but it comes down through some waterfall and we've, redirected it into a tank and it's like, hey, we can purify that for you. No, but, so Rob Griffin, owner of Joe Water, the website is joewaterfl for Florida.com, joewaterfl.com. And if you would like to, talk with Rob, get more information directly, what is the best way for them to get in touch with you?
So they can call the main line that's on the Joe Water website, or there's a contact us form on the website that they can just put, interested in franchising, and it'll route back to me, and we'll get you all the information.
Right. And then, so what is the estimate for the franchise information page to be done? Do you know?
Probably in the next couple of weeks. It should be up and live pretty soon. So if you're on there later and you see it, then obviously you can hit that too.
Right. Good deal. All right. Well, listen, so as we get ready to close here, tell us how you found franchise marketing systems and how has been your experience with them so far?
Sure. So franchise marketing systems, yeah, I actually found them from Chris, the CEO's TikToks, and
That's cool.
engaged him through TikTok of all places, which is kind of funny, but worked out. And what I found with FMS was just, a real end-to-end solution to be able to take, what we thought was a good concept and be able to package it in the proper way to be able to make it, franchisable and really kind of cover all the different angles, the legal angles and the trademarking and the organizational structure and, all the steps that you have to go through. It's a daunting process to be able to create a new franchise, but they've done a really good job of breaking it down and making it simple and bringing, kind of expertise to bear on each of the different topics. And so it's been really valuable from my perspective.
Right. And one thing I know that I've learned is that any suggestions you have, they take them wholeheartedly and they work their best to implement those. Because every franchise model, even if it's the same sector, is going to be different in some degrees. And what I love about FMS is, as many and any suggestions as you have, they're going to listen with open ear. And they're going to give you honest recommendations. Hey, we think this will work good, or that's a good suggestion, but what do you think about doing it this way? But what's great about FMS is that they have helped over 900 brands to franchise. And like you said, they have such a complete and thorough package that they do with the FDD, which is your franchise disclosure document. We talked about that. Your operations manual, your business plan, your trademark, if you hadn't already filed it. They do an 8-page sales brochure for you, which is both digital and can be printed. And just so many different things, your franchise information website, which all look very, very professional. And then when they get done, they're going to help you sell and promote your franchises. I think that's just awesome.
Yeah, absolutely. The comprehensive nature that goes beyond just like building it out, but also helping you sell it, which is a concern too. Like, I've sold a lot of things, but I've never sold a franchise. So being involved all the way through the process, through kind of scaling up, seems to be really valuable. So we're looking forward to it.
Yeah, because one of the things that FMS does is they assign you a brand manager who helps in the promotion and the sales process. In fact, Chris and I were just at the Atlanta franchise show in Smyrna this past weekend. That was a lot of fun. Lots and lots of potential franchise buyers there. So I'm excited to hopefully share that information with some of those folks that I talked to, because I didn't know about you prior to going to that show. So very, very cool. Well, listen, Rob, thank you so much for joining us. Again, you're listening to the Franchise Marketing Systems Client Spotlight podcast on Franchise Radio. My name is Todd Abraham. I am also a consultant with Franchise Marketing Systems. If you are a business owner and you are looking to franchise your business model, and if you want the best company in America to do that process for you, like Rob and I were talking about, Franchise Marketing Systems just got voted the best franchise consulting company in the country for 2024. But what's awesome about FMS is they do these 11 or 12 different steps for you, the entire package. They do it with a very timely manner. Once they get everything done, you're legally a franchise and you're ready to go. They're going to help you promote and sell your franchises. But they do it for a comparable cost to what franchise attorneys charge just to do the FDD, but they break their fee up for you into 6 to 8 monthly payments. Because as Chris Conner, the president, said, we are as vested in them as they are in us, because we're going to help them sell their franchises once they're done. But again, as I was saying, they'll give you an honest recommendation about whether your business is ready to go as a franchise. And if not, they'll tell you the things that need to be fixed in order for that to happen. Rob, thanks so much for being on the program today, my friend. I'm excited for your opportunity that you've got here.
Thank you. Appreciate it. Good talking with you.
Yes, sir. And again, if you're looking to franchise your business, the first consultation is totally free, no pressure. Call me, Todd Abraham, at 423-381-0925, and we look forward to speaking with you. Thank you.